CNET Central.
A war against child abduction is being waged on the internet.
Study her picture. She could be in your neighborhood.
How parents are turning to technology to find missing children.
Please help me find her. She's my daughter.
DVD may already be a thing of the past. A new format has retailers and consumers confused.
A new genre of video games for those who want to do more than point and shoot. They're called real-time strategy games, and they're the next craze in video gaming.
Plus, music journalism jumps online, and cartoons make a splash on the web.
We'll show you a computer program that really does control your household appliances, and how to contact your Congress member with your computer right now on CNET Central.
From the #1 on-air and online information source for the digital age, this is CNET Central.
Hi, I'm Richard Hart.
And I'm Daphne Brogdon. Welcome to CNET Central.
There are currently a number of software products designed to prevent youth from surfing into undesirable internet sites.
Well, with all this concern over protecting children who surf the web, it's easy to forget that the net also offers helpful resources to protect or even rescue kids who have fallen prey to the darker side of the web and the real world.
In fact, one woman has made it her mission to use technology to put an end to child abduction. On September 5th of this year, Brian Polson, a 12-year-old boy who numbered computers among his interests, disappeared from his home in Palm Springs.
The information that this office had received is that Brian had been lured off of the internet.
Yet another case of a child persuaded to leave home. Nothing new to the staff at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. According to Diane Harrison, case manager at the center, it's an increasingly common story. The center stresses the dangers that face kids who trust anonymous friends they meet in chat rooms on the internet. And this applies whether or not your child has a computer at home.
Most children now do have computers in their home, or they have friends that have computers. They have computers at school. Children are a lot more educated and inquisitive now about the computers and the different databases that they can get into. And sometimes they get into wrong databases that can put that child in an endangered situation. This person in Virginia did send Brian a bus ticket, and Brian went to him. And that's how a lure actually happened. That's why it's called a lure.
The center is using the very technology that causes the problem of long-distance lures to help solve them. MissingKids.org offers an online database of children's photographs searchable by name, state, and date of birth. It also updates photographs of the long-term missing through a technique called age progression. To date, more than 140 long-term missing children have been recovered. These pictures can really tell a story. Fortunately, Brian was recently found and returned to his family in good shape. Brian's father is reluctant to assign blame to the internet itself.
These particular problems stem from my and our supervision not being prepared well enough. His use of the computer has been minimal, actually.
Parents also need to teach their children that they never give out their personal information to anybody that they talk to online, which would be their name, their phone number, and their address.
It's just really wonderful to be back with Brian, reunited, and it's just a feeling like I've never had before.
The story of Brian Polson's return should make the people at the center happy, but the success rate is still not as high as they would like.
I wish it was 100%. Study her picture. She could be in your neighborhood. Please help me find her. She's my daughter.
Another site to watch is that of the Polyclass organization. This site joins in the search for children already reported missing and reports on those who've been located.
And be sure to visit our site at cnet.tv.com. We'll link you to sites with safety information for parents and tips for kids on how to stay safe.
Until recently, DVD was touted as the successor to the VHS tape player. With better picture, greater storage capacity, and prices expected to drop by the holiday season, it looked like DVD really was about to take off.
Until
electronics retailer Circuit City announced that they would be supporting a format different from DVD, DIVX, or Digital Video Express. Major Hollywood studios like Disney, Paramount, and DreamWorks chimed in their support for this new medium, propelling the consumer electronics industry into a battle that we haven't seen since VHS versus Betamax. To figure out how this new medium will work and what it will mean to you and me, we set CNET reporter Hari Srinivasan to the task.
digital video disc, heralded as the next medium for the home theater enthusiast, offering unparalleled sound and video quality previously only seen at the movies. Well, now there's another format on the horizon, and it works something like this.
Instead of renting a VHS tape, you might buy a DivX disc like this for around $5. Then you'll own a movie with CD quality surround sound, theater-like pictures, bonus language tracks, the works. But there are some catches. Let me explain. At home, what you'll need is a special DIVX player. Now, what's inside these boxes is what's going to separate them from your Laserdisc, your DVD, even your VHS machine.
Once you put your disc in the player, a clock starts ticking. After 48 hours, the machine will lock out the content inside.
I'm usually a lover, not a fighter, but in your case, I'm willing to make an exception.
So in this case, if I wanted to watch this movie again, a special modem inside the DivX player would call a central computer. If I plug in the credit card numbers, it unlocks the disc.
Here are the pluses and minuses. With a DIVX disc, you make one trip to the video store. DivX has the same high-quality video and sound as a DVD, but at a pretty low cost. The flip side, DIVX discs don't work on DVD players, but DVDs do work on DivX. Bottom line, you'll need a special player. You get charged a second time to unlock the disc if you put it into a friend's machine. And whatever the case, you'll have to pay per view after the first 2 days.
So, Hari, what about the people who went on DVD players? Are they just out of luck? Is there going to be any movies for them to buy?
There definitely will be movies out there for them. The consumer electronics manufacturers are expecting to have about 250,000 DVD boxes out there by this holiday season, which is really good considering that this is the first big year for DVDs. And with a market that size, the movie studios definitely see dollar signs.
Yeah, but isn't it going to confuse people? I mean, DVD, DIVX.
Well, there is a hardcore DVD community out there, and there's a little bit of a fear of some consumer confusion, but you got to realize DivX players aren't going to be around till next summer at the earliest, and there's still a lot to be worked out on them. Plus, we're talking about something of a big-ticket item. The people who buy these probably already have nice home theater systems, and they're going to be doing some homework on these investments.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if I'm ready for the investment, but I am interested in DVD, so keep us posted. We're very interested. Now, if you want more information on the DVD versus DIVX controversy, come to CNET.tv.com. We'll link you to a news feature that'll give you all the details on these competing technologies. Coming up next, web surfers' favorite search criteria and our favorite online music magazines.
Net News is sponsored by IBM Solutions for a Small Planet.
Apple Computer has maddened many of its loyal customers by closing its free help line. It's part of the company's new effort to cut costs. Now Apple customers can get free help only by phone within 90 days of their Mac purchase. After that, phone support costs $35 per call or $70 a year for up to 10 calls. Apple says it's only emulating Microsoft's customer assistance policies, which also limit free help. Hackers are shaking up the U.S. Department of Defense. According to newly released stats from the Pentagon, 250 of the department's computer systems have been hacked over the last year. Government officials aren't naming any culprits. They say they're not sure what information has been retrieved from the systems, but none of it was classified. They're expecting the number of break-ins to double this coming year. And some hackers worked their way into the computer system in New York City's subway last week to change the message on an electric sign in one station. The sign normally reads, "Watch your step and have a nice day." The hackers changed it to read, "Hacker Quarterly," the title of a New York-based magazine that chronicles hacker activity. New York transit officials just called the incident a nuisance. A new survey conducted by the British magazine Web says sex is by far the net's most popular attraction. The survey showed the top 4 code words entered into Yahoo's web search engine were sex, XXX, chat, and Playboy. Nude, porno, and penthouse were among the top 20 most frequently entered words. But the magazine's research did also hint that shopping could be more popular than sex on the net by the year 2000. The future of online gambling is looking grim now that a key Senate committee voted to prohibit states from legalizing net wagers. The Senate Judiciary Committee made the provisions in an Internet Gambling Prohibition Act they just approved. If it is passed by Congress, the act, as it is now written, will completely change the way gambling is regulated and put it under federal rather than state control. That would make online wagering illegal throughout the United States. And if you're a Ren and Stimpy fan, there's good news for you online. The creator of the cartoon has decided to take his talents to the net with a new character called George Liquor.
The boy got hot. I'll give him that.
The strip is being billed as the first original animated Internet series. It uses shockwave flash technology and looks just like TV. The cartoon follows the politically incorrect life of a combat veteran and his nephew, Jimmy. And that's our news for this week. For links to all these stories, go to our website at cnet.tv.com.
Music magazines, the glossy publications that keep you up to date on everything in the music world, have made their presence felt online. We thought we'd show you a few of our favorites on this week's Best of the Web. First, we jam on over to Vibe Online, where you can check out the latest hits and soulful reviews. Read the in-depth article on Janet Jackson's new album and how she turned her pain into pleasure. Or download QuickTime videos. Rapper Forte. D'Angelo. And Bob Marley. Sit back and enjoy the music. At the Rolling Stone site, you can view everything from featured stories to album reviews. Check out the story on Fleetwood Mac and their comeback. Click to the Rant and Rave page and see what everyone's talking about. If you're into vintage rock, you can check the Greatest Hits page, where after a long software download, enjoy the multimedia highlights from the Rolling Stones' illustrious past. Homegrown on the net, we have Addicted to Noise, which offers you the best in multimedia. Take a look at some of the features. Read all about the different alternative rock groups, like Everclear and Green Day. Download Green Day's hit single, Hitchin' a Ride. Or listen to Radio APN.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
All these sites have cool and exciting stuff to see. So for more information about music on the net, click on over to cnet.tv.com.
Coming up next, computerize your house with one simple piece of software. Then, how to conquer the world in real time.
Well, we know things keep changing in the digital world, so each week we take some time to address some of your most frequently asked questions or facts. And here to help us out is our own Sophie Formica. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Daphne. Thank you. Well, you've probably thought of contacting your congressperson at one time or another, but haven't actually taken the time to track down his or her phone number or address. Well, this week, Kirsten Swain of Medford, Oregon asks, how can I contact my congressional representative online? Well, Kristen, it's a lot easier than you might think. You can contact your congressperson online via email, if they have an email address. The trick is finding out if they have one and what it is.
But I bet there's probably some government webpage, right, that lists them? Or?
So clever, Daphne. Of course there is. For a searchable database of congressional representatives and contact information, check out the Zipper. Type in your zip code, choose representative or senator, and click Zip Me. The Zipper will give you the name of your representative or senator, plus their party regular mail address, phone and fax numbers, and an email address, if they have one, of course. But there are several other sites that the government has if you'd like to find information for what you're looking for.
So now if I have a gripe like taxes or the jackhammers outside my house, I know who to complain to, where to complain to.
You just tell them it's you, Daphne, and they'll jump to. Well, of course, you could also just go to cnet.tv.com and check out the online fact file. We'll link you to all the sites that we've just mentioned. And, of course, if you have a question that you'd like answered, send it to us here at the fact file at cnet.com or through regular mail to the fact file, 150 Chestnut Street, San Francisco, California, 94111.
Daphne, for the control freak in you and me, Desmond Crisis is here with the very latest in remote control for every appliance in your house. Des?
Yeah, you know, you may have seen one of these before. This is an X10 device. It speaks across your carrier current in your home, And each one of these has a different identity. You plug it in between your wall and your appliance or lamp or whatever, and you can use this to control it on or off.
Now, we have plugged in a lamp back there, and we have a fan, which Desmond has already programmed the controls for, and this is exactly what makes this different from all the years of X10 technology before. You can use the PC to do some very sophisticated stuff.
Yeah, you used to use a kind of a clumsy interface. It got a little better, and you got a remote control you could carry around with you, but now you can control it from your desktop. Take a look at this. This is the software they give you for it.
And it's a nice interface, you might add.
Yeah, it's really nice. You can tell exactly what's going on with the thing. Turn the lamp on, maybe dim it down. There's some mood lighting here. And it talks through a serial controller to a transceiver connected to your house current.
Now, what about this script? You can actually teach it to do a series of things while you're away.
One of the security applications of this thing is that you can have it simulate you being at home if you're on vacation. So you have it turn on the TV and the radio and all the lights in the living room at about 8 or so when the good shows come on, and then it turns that off while you go to bed, and the light goes on in the bedroom, the whole deal.
Now, you could train a monkey to use a clapper room to room, but it's much more expensive.
And this is a lot easier than training a monkey. All you do is you can write these scripts that are really intuitive and simple to set up. I'm going to test this one. This one said, turn on the fan and the lamp. Turn the lamp to about 40%. You can see it's kind of mood lit there. And it'll do that for a minute, then it goes to its next instruction. But for the purpose of our demonstration, I'm going to turn it off now.
How much is it, Desmond?
Well, you know, they got a starter kit for $99.95. It comes with this transceiver that hooks to your computer serial port. It comes with one lamp module. It comes with an accessory module that doubles as a radio receiver, the keychain, so when you walk in, you can actually turn on the lights when you first walk in, and a universal remote that'll control everything in your house.
Now, this is from a company called Active Home, and they're at activehome.com. IBM has a version it's called Home Director. You can get more information at cnet.tv.com. As always, Des, thanks. Let's get controlling.
Okay, Richard, what's your favorite shoot-'em up? Is it Quake or Duke Nukem or
Jedi Knights? No,
Yeah,
you know
what do you
something? I have never liked those Twitch games.
Really?
No, I like the more cerebral games.
So you have slow reflexes?
Basically, yeah.
That's kind of what I thought, maybe. Well, there's something else out there for people with slow reflexes, and it offers more than just killing the latest grunt or cyborg. That's right, it's a new gaming trend that is really starting to explode. It's called real-time strategy, and its roots are in classic board games like Risk and chess. Desmond Kreiser shows us what it's all about in this report.
Whether it's destroying the Soviets in Command and Conquer, or the Yorkish Army in Warcraft 2, there's little doubt that real-time strategy games are emerging as a dominant genre in computer gaming. And many believe these games are getting big because the experience is occurring in real time.
So what exactly does real-time strategy mean? Well, take a game like Risk. This is a turn-based strategy game. First, I move, and then you move. It's turn-based. Now, if this were a real-time version, we'd all be moving at the same time. You're going to get wiped.
I think you might be right this time.
You were good at it.
Rhett Ferry was one of the early pioneers of the genre.
The category was just waiting for a breath of fresh air and a means by which people could get at strategy gaming without all the fuss.
Ferry produced what many consider to be the first real-time strategy game, Dune 2, and then followed it up with the very successful Command and Conquer.
Real time is just, it's so seductive to live on the edge, to have to deal with what's going on. It's often unpredictable. You don't know where the next reaction, situation, explosion, threat is going to come from.
Doug Lombardi of CNET Game Center adds that these strategy games bring back a little bit of the gamer's childhood.
Part of, what makes it fun is the aspect of you're playing war, and that's been fun for, for people ever since, most men anyway, since they were little boys, they tacked on the little plastic gun and ran around and played war. And this is a chance for them to play war on their computer.
And a sure sign of the trend's popularity is with Microsoft. They're now jumping into this digital battlefield with their release of Age of Empires. In fact, there are more than 40 real-time strategy games coming out this holiday season, from Dark Reign to Total Annihilation to Sid Meier's Gettysburg. And these games will be commencing war with the 3D shooters like Duke Nukem and Quake for your attention. But Lombardi still likes the strategy genre's chances.
They're a little bit deeper. They require a little bit more mental power. You can compare Quake as being sort of a release. You know, at the end of the day, you want to get out these frustrations. But when you want to sit down and really sort of cut your teeth on a game, I think the real-time strategy games provide more, you know, in that way.
But Lombardi adds what you'll find in the future is the two genres merging into one.
We're going to see more of the action elements come into play with the use of 3D, whereas someone can not only just play commander and direct the troops and build structures, but they can also jump into the tank and go to war as a soldier.
Well, these seem a little more fun than the regulars. A little more strategy involved, a little brain power.
In fact, they are so popular with the gamers these days that at CNET Game Center, when we offered the download of the demo version of Age of Empire, it got 70,000 downloads just in the first weekend.
Wow. If you also want to give it a try, head over to cnet.tv.com. There you'll find reviews of all the real-time strategy games.
And we also have more information and links to everything else you saw on the show today at cnet.tv.com.
We even have an archive of past episodes and information about other great CNET shows and websites. That's CNET Central for this week. Thanks for tuning in and logging on.
Thanks for joining us this week on CNET, the digital domain.